your fancy. You can have it any way you want. Your fancy. You can have anything you like. Your fancy. You can have it any way you want. Your fancy. You can have anything you like.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. The total solar eclipse of 2017 and the total solar eclipse of 2024 are going to make an intersection, an X, across America's great heartland. So, understand that you're going to have, the first one is in Leo in 2017, and then 6 years, 7 months, and approximately 3 weeks later, we're going to have another total solar eclipse in the sign of Aries, the Ram. So Leo the Lion, then Aries the Ram. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. Thank you for joining us. You can visit my website if you'd like to contact me at www.readingsbyrosemary.com. Now, regarding these solar eclipses, there's going to be a very intense energy in the 5th house, and also with the Archangel Michael, who rules the sun, and also with the Archangel Gabriel, who rules the moon, or Luna, and Sol is also another name for the sun, and also the Archangel Virgo rules Leo. So that's the angels that are going to be overseeing this event. Again, it's a 5th house event, natural 5th house, and the natural 5th house, it has to do with children and creativity and your kids' creative projects and that kind of 5th house activity. Now, regarding the solar eclipse, again, the total solar eclipse that is going to be in 2024, also affecting the United States, we're going to have, that one is going to be again in Aries. So that's going to again be Michael, who rules the sun, Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, who rules the moon, and the Zodiac angel Mechidael, who rules the sign of Aries. So it's Leo the Lion, Aries the Ram. Again, it's about 6 years, 7 months, and approximately 3 weeks between these two events. Now, these are total solar eclipses when you are looking at them from the United States of America. Also, they are solar eclipses, and also they happen to be making again an X across the United States of America. So Oregon down through Georgia for the 2017 event, and then coming up from Mexico through Texas, and then on up into Canada, again making an X across America, is going to be the second event, which is going to be in 2024 on April the 8th. That's April the 8th, and that's 2024. Now, if you think about it, you have 20 equals in American gematria or English gematria a T. And then you have an X in English gematria, just a normal standard alphabet. You have X equaling 24. So 2024, and it enters through the United States through Texas, TX. So these are some of the numerical subliminal programming that's going on. That X stands for many things. It has to do with hidden treasure being buried. It has to do with some people feeling that it has something to do with Planet X. Some people feeling that it might have something to do with various flags in America. So, and various history buffs are going to be thinking that it has a lot to do with the American Civil War, and whether or not another American Civil War will be taking place. Now, we're going to look a little bit into the Gnostic Bible, and we're also going to first, before we get into just a little presentation of some thoughts from the Gnostic Bible and the Gospel of Truth, we're going to look at some traditional biblical scriptures that correspond to the various angels that are going to be involved in these eclipse events. And angels that you should, and archangels that you should call upon in order to impress upon you and imprint upon you the things that you need to do very well during this time. Now, regarding the Archangel Michael and the solar attributes, because remember this is a total eclipse of the sun, again in Leo, which is ruled by the sun, and in 2017, and then 2014 in Aries, which is ruled by Mars. So we're going to give you some of these correspondences. And the moon's always involved in an eclipse. It's always a new moon, so especially the total eclipse. So we have for the sun, again, which rules Leo, and it's same as Archangel Michael, Michael. The sun is known as the attribute of God, the Son, found in John chapter 1, verse 4. In the Douay-Rheims Bible, we read, "In him was life, and the life was the light of men." Now, Archangel Gabriel is also mentioned in the New Testament. We read in St. Luke, Gospel 1, verse 26 of the Douay-Rheims Bible, "And in the 6th month, the angel Gabriel was sent from God into a city of Galilee called Nazareth." Mars is known as the attribute of God the warrior. It's a soldier, a warrior, found in Exodus, that's chapter 15, verse 3, which is a potent biblical verse if you want to gain even more power for strength, protection, and fortitude. So again, this verse states, "The Lord is as a man of war, Almighty is his name." Again, the Lord is a man of war, Almighty is his name. That's the Douay-Rheims Bible translation. Okay, now we're going to look at the Gnostic Bible for you, and we're going to read from the Gospel of Truth. Gospel of Truth. Thank you. Okay, now, regarding the Gospel of Truth, we're going to read for you a portion of the allegory of Paradise. The allegory of Paradise. He is good. He is acquainted with his plants, for it is he who has planted them in his paradise or garden. Now his paradise is his realm of repose, is the perfection within the Father's thought, and they, meaning his plants, are the verbal expressions of his meditation. Each of his verbal expressions is the product of his will and the manifestation of his speaking. Also, we have for the Father's incomprehensible will in the Gospel of Truth. We're skipping a little ahead here. Now will is what the Father reposes in. Will. Again, now will is what the Father reposes in. And nothing comes to pass without what pleases him, nor does anything happen without the Father's will. Rather, his will is incomprehensible. His will is his imprint, and no one can understand him, nor does he exist so that they might observe him in order to lay hold of him. So that is not, he doesn't exist for them to be able to use him or do whatever they want to with him. And this is the representation of Kabbalah. In Gnostic teachings, we study Kabbalah, and the supernals, the three supernals of Keter and Chokhmah and Chokhmah and Binah. We also have, in this area, we have the Sephirah of Chesed and the Sephirah of Geburah. Also, the Sephirah of Netzach, the Sephirah of Hod. And these are Hebrew words. And this is the Sephirah of Yesod, ruled by the moon, and the Sephirah Malkut. That's the kingdom where the bride resides. And this is where Christ is taking up the space in the shells, which represent, the Sephirah, which represent sort of your desires. So that in the Klipoth down here, the Klipoth, these desires that are desires only for the self rather than for the good of the all, this is where they're kept and they're maintained in a situation where they are understood and used for what they're used for. And there are studies for, there are studies for the Eclipses, where we have some of the various names of the Eclipses that you do not want to invoke unless you know what you're doing. Now, regarding the archangel who is known as Michael, who is a ruler of the sun, an archangel of the sun, what you want to utilize is sunstone for the sun. Also, if you want to know what kind of stone you can use for the moon, for Gabriel, Archangel Gabriel, you can use moonstone or pearl. And for Melchidael, the zodiac angel of Mars, you can use red coral, or red coral from Mars. Yes. So these are some of the very intense subjects that we're going to be looking at as we go through the next, again, 6 years, 7 months, and approximately 3 weeks. So please stay tuned, because we're going to be keeping you updated on how this event unfolds and how it might affect you. Thank you for joining us. Join us again, and we'll keep you up to date.